Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing this quick video because I saw something on Twitter lately about Chris Benoit and I wanted to give my thoughts about this because it's going wild right now. So let me get this tweet up. It's by TNA wrestler Jordan Grace and I'm going to say this tweet verbatim. This is going to be the coldest take I ever tweet on this app. I already know y'all going to be mad. I don't think Benoit could 100% hang with most of the present day best wrestlers. He would not be able to remember matches. Also, may he burn in hell. Amen. Now of course this caused a lot of controversy regarding Chris Benoit as a wrestler and of course as a person. And of course a lot of people are taking sides. They're saying he was one of the best wrestlers ever. People from this era can't contend with him. Why are you comparing him with them? Also some people are saying he was a murderer, he doesn't deserve to be compared, he should burn in hell, stuff like that. Of course this is Jordan Grace responding to a tweet that someone made, basically saying that whenever someone talks about Chris Benoit's in-ring abilities, they have to say, I don't support what he did, he could burn in hell, I don't like the guy now, but you have to respect his in-ring abilities. She's basically saying, no, that's bullshit, we shouldn't respect him, he's a murderer, we can't do that. And I want to give my thoughts and maybe give you guys, a couple of little devil advocate, type of response, maybe, okay, what about this? So let's get started. My actual feelings about Chris Benoit, I saw my first Chris Benoit match was him, I think it was him wrestling, I think it was MVP. It was when he was US champion and he was having that rivalry with MVP. It was of course during the end of his career in the WWE and his life. It was good matches, even though I saw this video where he was where this guy was describing Chris Benoit's final year in the WWE, where it was saying he was just being repetitive doing these things, and he would put stuff about that was happening in Chris Benoit's life and then collectively talk about what happened after the murders. Definitely check out that video. My thoughts about the Chris Benoit situation is really weird because I watched Chris Benoit when he was in the end of his career, so I didn't get to experience his stuff in Japan, the ECW stuff, WCW stuff, even in his prime in the WWE when he was facing Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, all those type of guys. But it's hard for me to say that how Chris Benoit and to rank him because one, I'm not a professional wrestling observer, not a wrestler, I'm not like a bout machine that can tell, okay, this guy's the best, this guy is the best, he isn't, yada yada yada. But I feel like the problem with this tweet that Jordan Grace tweeted is that she's trying to discount what Chris Benoit did, and I feel like that's not just an insult to Chris Benoit because who cares about Chris Benoit honestly, but it's an insult to Chris Benoit's family. It's an insult to Nancy, the wife, it's an insult to Daniel, the son that passed away. It's an insult to David Benoit, who suffered the most out of all of this, and he has to come to terms of what his father did, who he saw as one of the best persons, best fathers in the world, someone he grew up to admire. And for her to say that he can't contend with wrestlers of today, I think that's wrong because wrestling styles are different. I feel like Chris Benoit can definitely hang out with a lot of the wrestlers of today but the type of wrestling he was doing was more hard hitting, was more brutal, because when you see a lot of wrestlers today, even though they're doing the shoot pro wrestling style, Chris Benoit was doing it back in the 90s. He was doing it when he faced guys in Japan or even people that were also in Japan like a Scorpio Sky. So I feel like it's an insult to the Benoit family that got murdered and the Benoit family that are still here to say that Chris Benoit is a bad wrestler or saying that he can't contend with this generation's wrestlers. I feel like that's false, and I feel like a lot of people are putting their emotions instead of just the logical thing, which is Chris Benoit was a good wrestler but he's a horrible human being, and that's basically it. Paul Heyman said it himself, I hate Chris Benoit, with a passion. He's a horrible human being, but he is a one of a kind wrestler. He's one of the best out there, and I would book him in the past without knowing what happened, of course, because he's that amazing of a wrestler. So saying that he can't contend is false, both in the way that he's been wrestling that type of style, that rough, strong style type of wrestling since the 90s, one that he helped revolutionize and popularize today. And another is the fact that a lot of people are saying we can't talk about Chris Benoit because of what he did, and that's true. You can say what you want about Chris Benoit, that's open to your interpretation. If you don't want to talk about Chris Benoit, if you say he's a scum, I can't watch his wrestling anymore, every time I see him I get mad, that's okay. I live in America, you can do whatever you want as long as it's legal, and that's perfectly illegal. If you don't like watching him, you don't have to. But at the same time, there are people, you know, saying enjoying that, oh, Chris Benoit was an amazing wrestler, and they're getting attacked because they're saying he's an amazing wrestler. Like, I understand there are people trying to defend Chris Benoit, which is wrong because Chris Benoit did those horrible things. But trying to say that Chris Benoit was a bad wrestler just because he did those horrible things is kind of wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's like when someone else, when this person is being, you know, glorified and, oh, he's an amazing person when he was alive, but then he dies, or if he does something bad and now people are saying, oh, I didn't really like that guy's stuff, it's all shit. No, you're wrong. You probably did like it and it got popular for a reason. It's just the fact that now that he did something wrong, you kind of don't want to seem like a, you know, a fan of that person because he did something wrong, and you probably be put on to that sort of group that supports someone who did something wrong, if you get what I'm saying. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. You know, if you have any thoughts on Chris Benoit or Jordan Grace or anyone on Twitter that's discussing about Chris Benoit and how he is as a wrestler, and, you know, should we admire his work? Is he still, you know, persona non grata for what he did and we can never talk about him again? Or do you feel like you should, you know, you can feel how you want to feel, other people can feel how they want to feel, as long as something, you know, nothing negative happens, it's all fine with me, honestly. And that's basically it. See ya.